It's just gone 2 o'clock, so we'll start the meeting. Any apologies for absence, please?
Thank you, Chair. We have apologies from Councillor Andrea Lewis, Dave Hopkins and Adam Hill.
Thank you. Any disclosures of personal or prejudicial interests, please? None. Thank you.
Chair.
Matt?
Chair.
Is it Matthew?
It's Joe.
Who's speaking?
Joe.
Oh, hiya, Joe.
Member of Unison.
Member of Unison. Thanks, Joe.
Best declare it because it's workforce matters.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers.
No more? No? Thank you.
Chair, sorry, it's Matthew, it is Chair. Yeah, I disclose I'm a member of GMB.
GMB, Matthew. Thank you. Any more before we move on?
I'm a member of Unite. It's Councillor Hannah Lawson.
Anna Lawson, Unite.
Me also, Leslie.
Leslie. GMB, Leslie.
Unite.
Unite. Okay, thank you. We'll move the business on. Item 3 is minutes from transformation and no, it's not. I got them here. There we are. As from the 22nd of February.
Yeah.
It seems a long way away. 22nd of February 2022. We've got page 1, page 2. Are there any matters arising from 22nd of February 2022 meeting, please? No, Sam, thank you.
So we need to move in a second. And we need to move.
Can we have a mover, please, for the 22nd of February? Terry. And can we have a seconder, please, for the 22nd of February?
Second.
Leslie. Thank you. Then we move on to minutes from the 24th of May 2022. Page 1, page 2, and page 3. Any matters arising, please? Can we have a mover, please?
I move.
Leslie, please. And a seconder, please.
I'll second it, Chair. Councillor O'Brien.
Councillor O'Brien.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then we go on to item 4, terms of reference. That's for information only. And then we go on to item 5, transformation and future council development progress report. Afternoon, Marlon.
Good afternoon.
How are you? You keeping well?
Very good, thank you.
You're more than welcome. This item's yours, yes?
Yes, so I'll pick this up. Yes.
There we are. Thank you, Marlon.
Okay, thank you, Chair. So I'll take it all that you've had an opportunity to read the report and just give you a high-level overview. So to start, I'd just like to confirm that it's for information only. So it's not to be scrutinised. It's to give you a high-level overview of what we've been working on over the past year. I aim to provide some context and reflection over the previous year. It's very much high level and just some of the work that has taken place on the transformation and development wellbeing objective and give you a bit of a flavour of direction of travel for the coming year. So the work on transformation, it did continue despite the new pressures of COVID and the pandemic and the continued impact of COVID. The work on the agendas to recover and refocus the council continued, albeit whilst we were being very flexible to respond to the emergency plans, specifically through the winter when we were reverting back to emergency planning. A key area of the progress for the year included working on the modernisation and transformation of the council through the Achieving Better Together programme. And that was a paper that was agreed on the 15th of October 2020. The paper was from recovery to transformation, and it covered the 3 phases of recovery, recovering the council, refocusing the council, and reshaping the council. So the past year is when we've been refocusing the council, and that phase, it consisted of 5 work streams. We had care services, education and learning, the future workforce and equalities work stream, a community support work stream, and economy and environment. So the work streams, they've shown really good examples of working together and in partnership to achieve some good outcomes. And that wasn't only for the organisation, but for staff and the citizens of Swansea since the start of that plan in March 2021. If you look in the report at 3.5 to 3.17, that highlights some of the good work from the projects and some of the benefits from the works that were completed. And it includes work that comes under our digital strategy, our workforce strategy, our equality plan, and a few other areas. The PDCs were very much involved in a number of these projects, and that's highlighted in the report. They provided a support function to the programme and to the work streams. So going forward this year, we're going to be looking at how we build on what's changed as a result of the pandemic and really look and focus on how we can be delivering our services in different ways. So section 4 gives you a forward look direction and an overview of some of the plans. The future financial landscape, it can't be ignored, and transformation will continue to be vital to make sure that we maintain these local priorities. So the reshaping phase, it will look beyond 2022 and not just the next 3 years, 5 years. We really look to be setting the foundations to establish that longer term shape of the council for the next 10, 20 years. Some of the highlights during the current work that's happening now whilst we're transitioning out of the refocus to the reshaping stage is developing the framework for that future delivery programme, which is the phase 3 of the Achieving Better Together. We're ensuring that strategies and action plans are embedded and change is visible and increasing in pace across the organisation. There's a review and an update of the corporate plan. And we're also working on the culture of the organisation to make sure it's aligned to the delivery of the corporate plan, making sure priority service areas have the new models that they need for delivery to mature. And then, of course, there's delivering the balanced budget with the long-term, medium-term finance plan and ensuring that that's as stable. So we've got to be vigilant and prepared to revert to respond mode if we need to, if required. We might need to go back into emergency plans. However, the work is continuing to build the foundations and the scope for this work. So I hope you find the update useful and it supports you in the development of the work plan over the next coming weeks. But if I hand it back to you, Chair, and if there's any questions that anybody has for me.
Thank you, Marlon, for the update. Are there any questions or observations, please?
I haven't used this one before, Chair. So
Terry, you press the middle,
yeah,
the red, okay?
Yeah, got that.
There we are. So it's
Yeah.
Councillor Hennigan, Marlon.
Of course, she's looking that way. I was wondering about these consultation and exercises with the community groups. Anything on that?
Good afternoon, Councillor. So yes, very much so. So there is a new engagement and consultation strategy that's been developed over the past year, and that does have very much a focus on the community. However, also as part of this programme, we're looking at the oh dear, my mind's gone. The co-production strategy, and we've been successful in securing funding to support us with that project. So we're hoping that that will be really picking up pace over the next coming months.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Councillor Hale next, please. Joe?
Cheers, Chair. Yeah, the leader has on a couple of occasions reminded us all that Swansea Council, and it came from an independent report that showed that Swansea Council was in a better position than many other local authorities in recovering from the COVID pandemic economically. Now, what a few people might have missed is from that actual report, if they read it, the reason that Swansea Council is in such a good position is because it's the highest employer of public sector workers, on average, the highest across Wales and across the United Kingdom, I think. And although they say in there that there is a heavy reliance on the public sector, which is good, and we all support the public sector, I'm hoping if people do read the report, then they'll come out in favour of growing the public sector in Swansea and us not ending up, and this is only an observation, it's not really a question, and we don't end up like many councils across the border there in England, that when they've gone through transformation and regeneration, that they've ended up leaner and meaner, and a lot of things hide off. And I know there's a commitment from Welsh Government, particularly this Welsh Government. So it's just an observation. It's great that we're coming out on top of everybody else, but people have to understand it is because we're such a huge public sector employer. That's my observation. Thanks very much. And I just wish there was more public sector, and I'm so disappointed that we have to be on average the highest public sector employer. Ideally would love to see the old GLC back in London, but it's never going to happen. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Joe. Marlene, there's no one else indicating to speak. Would you like to come back on anything? Oh, sorry. Leslie, please. Councillor Walton.
Thanks, Mandy. You stole my thunder, Marilyn, because I was just going to come in with a question on co-production, and you've said it. Really, really pleased to hear that there's going to be some funding to support that, because I was a pretty late convert, I've probably said this before, to co-production, and as soon as I really got to grips with what it was all about, I thought it's a complete no-brainer, because it comes back to something that I keep saying: you don't impose policies and etc. on people. Far better you get them to come along with you, and then far more likely that those policies work. So really pleased with that, and I can only endorse exactly what Joe said, that I think he's completely right, and I hope that we will continue to keep the numbers up and not go down the what I think a disaster route of so many councils in England. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. Again, Marlene, sorry. Is there anything you'd like to come back on?
No, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, and I'll take those comments on board and make sure that they're involved and part of any decisions going forward.
Thank you. Terry, do you want to come
Yeah.
back? Sorry, we
Did
got
you-
Councillor
Did
Ennigan
all
again.
this start in the purple room when Clive Lloyd was here? You set up the purple.
Marlene, did you hear that? It's a question about the purple room. When Councillor Lloyd was here, obviously it was quite a progressive agenda item. So from Councillor Hennigan, have we got an update on where we are with the purple room, please?
Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Councillor, I don't have an update on that, but I could certainly ask for you and see if I could get something back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any more questions or observations for Marlon, please? No. Thank you, Marlon. We appreciate your attendance and your update today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Then we move on to item 6, which is the work plan discussion. Just to start us off, obviously there will be a list for us to discuss that will be submitted from the Cabinet, and that's to come in the next couple of future meetings. But Marlon and myself had discussed putting co-production on the agenda, or not forgetting patience, of course, patience as well. Co-production to touch on the agile working, but there will be a list where we can fully discuss as to where and what we want to omit for 2022-23 work plan on this committee. So are there any questions? In case anyone didn't hear, Councillor Hennigan has contributed to the agenda or to the work plan, community safety. I don't know whether that would sit here. It might sit with, what's the other PDC? The one that's community based.
Yeah.
It might sit with them, Terry, but we'll have a discussion about it. So are we happy to run with co-production as obviously a moving agenda item because it's so vast? Agile working. Was there anything else? Patience. Partnerships, that's the other one, partnerships. So they would be our first 3 work plan agenda items. And when we have the list from the Cabinet, we'll fully discuss and obviously add to the work plan for 2022-23. Any questions?
Mandy, can I just come in?
Yes, Leslie.
I'll just say that rather than stating absolutely that's what we'll do, although I fully support it, I think what we need to do is wait until we see this Cabinet list so we know exactly what direction we're supposed to be going in. Would that not make sense?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Leslie. There's
Thank
been quite a bit of discussion about co-production and partnerships, and obviously the agile working, where we are a review on the agile working. And I can foresee that the co-production will be embedded, with us on this work plan year. So I'm in total agreement with you, Leslie. Maybe we should wait because I can see it come in within the next couple of weeks. We should have it by the next full meeting. And maybe we can have a pre-meeting to discuss where we are with the agenda items or the work plan items, sorry. Anything else from, Joe? Joe, do you want to come in?
Yeah,
Councillor Hale?
cheers. Yeah, it's an old bugbear of mine. I mention it at most of these meetings, and maybe not on the work plan, but could we keep up a constant review of the number of agency workers? Because now the job market has swung completely round, isn't it? We don't have enough staff, neither do the health service. So substantive posts we should see more substantive posts and less agency workers. So not for the work plan, don't want to give anyone too much to do, but maybe we could have a constant review to be kept up to date and just to see, because don't forget, in 2012, those of us that were here in 2012, we agreed with the unions when we finally got round the table with them after about a year that we would do something quite drastic with agency workers. And that's not really, although we've done wonders and we've done better than other local authorities, personally, given the economic situation, I'd like to see them eradicated and agency only used where exceptional or where necessary. So if we could just keep that on the agenda, if you don't mind.
Right, thank you for that contribution, Joe. We'll keep it on the agenda, we'll keep it live, and keep it off the work plan as you suggested. So thank you for that. Any other questions or any other omissions? So the date and time for the next meeting is 26th of July at 1400. And just for reference really and information, these meetings will always be held at 1400 on a Tuesday afternoon.
That's nice.
Okay,
Splendid. Thanks very much.
there we are, guys. So take care, look after yourselves, and I'll see you next month, if not before. And thank you all for your attendance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.